The misconception about spirituality and business, money making. All this and more on this episode of Fueling the Flame podcast.
Let's go! You're listening to Fueling the Flame podcast with Ashley H.A. Williams.
What's up, everyone? This is Ashley H.A. Williams for Fueling the Flame podcast, a sector of FD 1111 Ministries. And this is a new segment that we're starting over here, Making Money Matter. And this is dealing all with spiritual businesses and making money, replicating that money flow, replicating that stream of consciousness that will lead to more physical wealth in your life. And yes, this is a taboo subject altogether. People do not pair spirituality and money together. They think that it's a scam, or they think that people are being fake. But however, how is someone supposed to make a living? How is someone supposed to support themselves if they do not have a stream of income? No one has the answer for that. We do live in a physical reality, and we do require resources to maintain ourselves in this physical reality. It's no different than food. If you want to maintain your life in this physical reality, you have to have food. And food is energy, and so is money energy. So we're going to dive into this topic here and to dispel all of those myths out there, all of those ideologies referring to money and spirituality. And this is one thing that I've had to address in my own spiritual journey as well as my own business journey. I came from a background, yes, I grew up in the church, and we also grew up with the understanding that money is not everything, and that money doesn't grow on trees. Actually, my mother used to say that all the time. I would ask for something. She was like, well, you think I'm made of money? Or money doesn't grow on trees? Those type of statements. But however, going further into that statement is that money is just energy. It's just a flow. And when I first heard that statement, that sort of kind of sparked something within me. I still was dealing with the idea of, well, money isn't everything. Money doesn't bring happiness. And I then heard someone make the statement, and don't quote me verbatim for this, that yes, money can't buy you happiness, but it can make you feel happy in the moment, or it can make you feel more fulfilled when you're going through this life. So, overall, money is it's not going to bring you joy. And so joy is something that comes from within, because you have plenty of rich people that are depressed. Yes, we do know that. And that's another statement that people will use, like, oh, there's plenty of rich people that aren't happy. And there's even more poor people that are not happy. Okay. And they don't want to acknowledge that fact. And many of the pharmaceutical companies, many of psychologists that write these prescriptions, they are banking on the fact that majority of people that are not really happy or really well balanced in their lives are actually people that fall under the poverty line or the middle class even so. But I bring all of this up because we have to dispel this idea that money and spirituality do not go hand in hand. If spirituality is working with energy and mastering our own energy, then what is money? Money is nothing but energy that we should be able to master. Okay. And I'm going back to this whole idea of how giving these people or giving people or a group of people or a class of people the idea that, everything is not about money. Or either if they do not have the idea that everything is about money, they'll flip it the other way around, that, oh, it's all about money and I have to go out here and bust my butt. I got to go out here and work myself into the ground to make it. So it's two ends of the spectrum, but neither one of them are balanced. So when we are talking about spiritual businesses and spirituality and money, we're talking about being balanced within our own energy, mastering our own energy to master the energy of money. So not putting our faith into money, but putting our faith into, yes, our spiritual practices, our spiritual flow of knowledge and consciousness, yes. But with that being said, that we are also mastering the art of working with money. I almost see it like a feng shui. I almost see it like a master that is working with this ball of energy. And that ball of energy can be whatever you want it to be. It could be money. It could be your knowledge, your wisdom. It could be relationships. It all goes hand in hand. So if you are, this is another statement too. If you are, I've heard this statement about you're so heavenly that you're no earthly good. So that means like a person that is, their head is always in the clouds. And I've been there too. And making everything like something that is totally spiritual, which everything is spiritual, but you also have to pair it with the physical. We're talking about like the yin yang, the black and white, and being fully balanced, the swing of the pendulum. You know, the swing of the pendulum to the left, swing of the pendulum on the right, being fully balanced within oneself. And this is also talking about the Trinity template and being completely balanced all around. You have the Trinity of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, but flipping it the other way, mental, physical, and spiritual. All of them have to pair up. Your spiritual practice needs to affect your mental state that will affect your physical state. So if you are feeling very rich in this spiritual sense, then your mind will be set on abundance, set on prosperity, set on doing the best that you can do in mastering yourself. That will therefore affect the way how you play things out in the physical, that will bring some type of physical representation and confirmation. And what happens is that people can get caught up in the spiritual aspects of things, and they do not work on the mental aspect, and they do not work on the physical. And these are people that completely check out the physical reality. Now, this is not referring to like Buddhists and stuff, because their understanding of the physicality is completely different. They have a society of their own within their own. So their spiritual practice pairs up with their mental and pairs up with their physical, but it plays out in the physical differently because they have a society within their own society. But for us that are in the regular society, that our physical has to play out that pairs with the society. And what I mean by that, I'm just talking about tangible sense. Yes, we are here as light workers to change the scope of society. We're supposed to live on the outskirts of society, but still having a balance within the society. So that doesn't mean that like, what good does it do any of us if we are literally living on the streets and we cannot pay our bills, or either we're so busy working a 9-to-5 that we cannot share our spiritual wealth with others. So with all that being said, how does this play out in spiritual businesses? It plays out into spiritual businesses because when you pair all of these three aspects together, the Trinity together, that you are therefore putting together a formula that will help other individuals. If they can see that you have the worldly success or the physical success, wherever that success may mean to you, some it may mean being in a mansion, some may mean just being comfortable in their own home, having all their bills taken care of, having some in savings, or whatever that face of comfortability and success may look like to you. Everybody is different. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying that you have to have the same ideal of success as anybody else, but what that means is that whatever your understanding of success is, that you can replicate that and give that to those individuals that will be your following, that will be your supporters, if you will. And therefore they can take that formula and apply it to their life. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about everybody has to have the same idea of success. No, that's going to be different for the individual, and that's going to be different for their following. So it really helps the individual bring things into the physical and really manifest. Yes, we can use these different techniques and everything like that to work with the law of attraction or to work with manifestation. But what I've realized that if the mind has not changed, that nothing will change in the physical. So the mind is the gateway between the spiritual and the physical. So when you receive information from the spiritual realms, you have to therefore process it in your mind to bring it forth in the physical. And that's a missing ingredient. Like when we see these different law of attraction videos, when we hear about different manifestation techniques, these were first put in place by the initial individuals that brought that information through as a template for people to bring it into the physical reality through their mental portal, through their mental state. So it's not just to go through these steps and be like, okay, where is it at? It's actually to physically change your mental, that will change your physical understandings of things, that will change your physical path, the way how you do things, and the physical that will bring whatever you're trying to manifest into the physical. So with that being said, that when we are putting together these different formulas for ourselves that make things work for ourselves in the physical reality, we have to therefore teach it to our following, teach it to our subscribers, teach it to our clients. And with that understanding that it's not like we're just going through these steps. This is the purpose of rituals. Rituals are to change the mental state. Formulas are to change the mental state. Dealing with alchemy, all of that stuff. Whatever the case may be, whatever type of healer or light worker that you are, we have to understand and really emphasize that we're working with the mental portal, the mental gateway, to bring in things in the physical reality. I think that's a missing component when we're teaching other individuals that no, things do not just drop in our lap, that we had to go through a process of playing things out in our mind and then playing things out in the physical reality to change things. And therefore, eventually, it will seem like things are just falling in our laps. Is that when it comes to money, the same thing will happen. But however, it's a streamline, it's a flow of information and breaking things loose in the physical. The physical is a more concrete, more dense type of energy. It's very compact energy. Think about someone that has really tight shoulders and have a lot of stress in their shoulders, and how a masseuse will come through and break up all of that stress and that tension. It's the same type of thing in the physical reality when it comes to money, when it comes to abundance, when it comes to prosperity, when it comes to relationships, all of that stuff has to go through the process of breaking up all of that tension, all of that density. So therefore start to flow, and it will be a free flowing of, yes, currency, energy, which will play out in relationships and as well in finance. So all in all, spirituality and money, currency, all goes hand in hand. Eventually, what will happen, and what is happening, you see that with some spiritual teachers, that they have rose to a certain plateau of abundance in the physical reality, monetary abundance. And therefore, they become examples for other spiritual workers, other light workers, that yes, you can be spiritual and you can have monetary success. It doesn't take away from your spirituality. It shouldn't. It should only enhance it. Think about a magician. Think about a magi. Think about all of those alchemists. What's the point of working with and trying to hone in on your craft if you can't produce it in the physical? You'll be like, no, you're not a magician. No, you're not an alchemist, because you can't make it happen in the physical. Again, that do not let individuals try to downplay your ambitions for monetary success. Don't you give yourself excuses as to wanting and desiring monetary success, wanting and desiring well-balanced, highly abundant relationships, and surrounding yourself with individuals that want the same thing. Usually people that do that have a misunderstanding about money, about currency, and about spirituality and the flow of life altogether. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to, you can join the Patreon membership. That link will be down below. As well as if you want to check out the blog post associated with this podcast, the link will also be down below. Anything that you have any questions about, feel free to hit me up on any of the social media outlets. I don't do Facebook, so X that off. I don't do Twitter as well, so X that off. But you can reach me on Instagram, on Patreon, on YouTube, all of those different types of outlets. This whole change in wanting to go into spiritual business is because I am a spiritual business, yes, but I also have been receiving the information from my guides about the 2020 quote-unquote recession, and how spiritual businesses are going to come into the forefront and going to become the new face of abundance, the new face of well-balanced life. and how we are going to help those that are leaving the corporate America, leaving the rat race, if you will, leaving the religious or blocked off type of mindset, and they're going to be looking for new leadership. And that's what's going to happen, that a lot of the spiritual leaders are going to step they're going to step forward to help lead a lot of these individuals. So that was a video that I did a while ago. I will leave that link in the description of this podcast as well. So until next time, you guys, continue to fuel your flame. This is the Making Money Matters segment of this podcast, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, peace.